welcome back into another episode of Bronco and the Pig. Today it is January 26th, Friday, January 26th.
Mm-hmm.
As always, I'm Cooper. I'm the sports expert, and I'm here with my trainee, Delaney, otherwise known as the Bronco. How are you doing, Delaney? How was your week in sports?
It was pretty good. I'll go more into detail about my sports experience this week.
I'm sure you got
But
some
oh,
good
I
insight.
I do, especially this
Yeah,
week. But yeah, my week has been good.
it's been good. Well, it has been a eventful week. We are fully into the NFL playoffs. We're down to 4 teams. Super Bowl is in a couple weeks. Um, the NBA and the NHL are in full swing. The MLB free agency is all over the place, and of course, college basketball is starting to get towards crunch time when it comes to like the tournaments, and then March Madness, of course, our favorite time of the year. So it's a busy month of sports, just all over the place. There's a golf tournament going on here in San Diego. The Farmers Insurance Open. So we got all sorts of stuff going on. But as always, we're gonna start with our five favorite stories, and we like to look at some things that it's sports related, but it intrigues us. It's the personalities and the drama, as always. So we'll kick things off, and we're just gonna go right into Mr. Jason Kelsey as our first story. This Jason Kelsey might be the greatest human being on the planet. He might be the most liked person ever. Did you happen to see some of the videos of him tailgating, and then obviously him in the stands at the Buffalo Bills and Kansas City Chiefs game? Did you see any of those stuff, Delaney?
It was all over my social media. It was everywhere. I saw him, at the Bills tailgate. I saw him wanting to break a table. And then, of course, I
Mm-hmm.
saw him taking his shirt off and jumping into the stands.
Yeah,
Um, and I loved it. I thought it was great.
you know what? I gotta give him credit because he had just lost the week before. Heartbreaking that he supposedly came out and retired. Who knows if that's true or not? And then he goes and he supports his brother, and he meets his brother's girlfriend for the first time, Miss Taylor Swift. And I just love. I think it is so cool that he lives this crazy lifestyle, and they have this crazy life, and then they just go on a podcast together and just talk about it, and they spill all the drama with it. I love it. It's great. And then his wife going on and saying that he was disappointed that he didn't get to jump through a table. It just makes it even
Yeah.
better.
And I
So
saw that his wife was doing a news interview and they were asking him about it and he was just like, yeah, like that was his plan the entire week. And
yeah.
it's almost like they forget how famous they are a little bit.
Well, did you? I'm assuming you watched the documentary on Amazon Prime, the
I did.
Kelsey about him.
Yeah.
If you were to walk into his house, you would have no idea that he's rich and famous because it looks
Yeah.
like our house growing up, just shit everywhere,
Mhm.
and like it's not clean, it's not fancy or anything. I love him. He might be
Yeah.
my favorite athlete. Um,
Mhm.
it's hard not to like him, but
And like
and
shout out to his wife because I've seen people talking about how like she shows up to these football games and she's not dressed like no offense, but she's not dressed like to the nines. She shows
yeah,
up in like her hiking boots and leggings and like she doesn't
she
care about any of that
she
stuff.
is who she is, and Jason Kelsey is just a walking headline. He's just a walking lovable. Everybody loves him. You can't hate anything about this person. So I think he's a great story, and it's so much fun to watch. Like just see him doing crap. I'm excited. They go to Baltimore, and
Oh
I'm
yeah.
sure he's gonna be there with T
And I
Swizzle.
hope he is.
Yeah, I hope he is too. All right, moving on to our second story. This one's a little different because we're not big hockey people. Not a big
Mhm.
hockey fan, and you're not a big hockey fan.
No.
I enjoy watching hockey, but I don't follow it closely. The Edmonton Oilers now have won 14 straight. I think they played tonight. Let's see if they won or yesterday. But they've won 14 straight games. So that in hockey, that seems like an incredible feat because people are freaking out about it. What would you say? Yeah, they won last night. 15 straight. What would you say is the easiest sport to have a streak in? So I started thinking about streaks, and we had one earlier in January when the Pistons had lost like 30 games in a row.
Mm-hmm.
What would you say is the easiest to have a streak in?
Well, I'm not gonna lie. So we come prepared for these podcasts. When I saw you were talking about this, when you asked what's the easiest sport to have a streak in, I thought you meant what's the easiest sport as a fan to streak, if that makes sense.
We can go that route. What would be the? It's not hockey. I can tell you that hockey is not at all. Okay, we can go that route. Easiest sport to streak at.
I'm curious if we'll have the same answer.
The most common is baseball. I think baseball would be the most common, the one we see the most. Because you're right there on the court, and
that's a good point. I didn't really think
it's pretty open. Easiest to streak at. I can't. Football. There's a lot of people. So you can maybe mingle your way through. I don't know. What are you thinking? This is not at all where I expected to go.
I wrote down.
But now I'm committed. You wrote some down? Let me hear.
Well, I thought the easiest one would be Olympic race walking or Olympic speed walking. Because they're just like...
Okay.
Yeah, like, you're in the stands and they're on, like, a track. And everyone else is just walking. Uh-huh. So it's not like that many people can chase you. It's not like the players are going to stop you at all. Or the walkers are going to stop you.
Well, you know that they... Yeah, no, I get your thinking, but you are aware that the professional speed walkers, they're able to run. They just are not allowed to in the sport. No, they can still run.
I know, but if the race is going, they can't run after me mid-race.
Yeah, that's true, but it's not usually players or competitors that are taking streakers out. It's usually like security.
Also, no offense to the cop, but what type of security guard is working a speed walking competition?
Oh, yeah, no, I agree. It's probably some schmuck that they hired off the couch. I have no idea. But hey, that's not a bad question. Olympics wouldn't be too bad. I feel like golf. The golf tournaments, because there's not really security.
Yeah. I would want to do it.
Old people that hold up the signs and are like
the quiet signs. Yeah. I would want to do it at what's that golf tournament where like everyone's really rowdy? It's like for the trash company.
Yeah, the waste management. Waste management.
Yeah, open. Yeah. If I had to do it at a golf tournament, I would want to do it there. Because I feel like it will be most respected.
I think you do it and people in the stands join you. Like it's like probably. It turns into a big everybody jumps in.
Just everyone. Yeah.
That's crazy. All right, well that took a much different turn. My goal was to talk about which one it is to win a bunch of games in a row in.
Yeah. No, I understand now.
But no, hey, we can go streaking. That's fine. We'll just continue to move on then. So our next story, it's actually my favorite of the week. It's not a huge headline story, but it brings an interesting and cool topic, in my opinion. So, baseball, James Paxton, he just signed with the Los Angeles Dodgers. I think that was on Tuesday is when he signed. Big left-handed pitcher, veteran guy's been with the league for a long time. But the thing that catches my eye is his nickname. His nickname is the Big Maple because he's from Canada, and so
Mhm.
he got the nickname the Big Maple. I think it's awesome. So I started to think of like what would be the bit who has the best nickname in sports of
Mm.
players wise. So I got a few that I can list off, and maybe you can tell me which one you like the best. But like football legend Calvin Johnson was named as Megatron because he was huge. Randy Johnson was the big unit. Carl Malone, the mailman. Uh, you got William Refrigerator Perry. Reggie Jackson is Mr. October. Deion Sanders is Prime Time. He's now Coach
Mhm.
Prime. David Ortiz, Big Poppy. Maybe OJ Simpson, the Juice. We don't like to talk about OJ Simpson too much, but hey, that's not a bad nickname. I don't know. Did you happen to find any cool nicknames, or do you have any that you really like?
Well, of course I know. I don't even know his real name. Big Poppy.
David Ortiz.
Oh, David Ortiz. That's just a
Yeah,
classic. I've
that's
known
like
that name
that.
since I was like 5.
Well, him and probably Primetime Deion Sanders.
Mhm.
Those are probably the two most famous nicknames there are.
Yeah.
I would guess those two.
Mhm.
Maybe well, I mean, their nicknames, but they end up being like what he's known as. So like Babe Ruth, that's not his
Yeah.
real name. Or
Mm.
Tiger Woods, it's not his real name. So it's like, yeah, I guess that's technically a nickname they got as kids, but I'm talking more
Yeah.
like you earn the nickname throughout your career. Like
Can you explain the mailman to me? Why is he called the mailman?
because he always delivers.
Oh, oh, that's pretty
That's
good.
that's that's why. That's actually why because he always delivers. But my personal favorite is Randy Johnson, the big unit. I think that's awesome. I don't know
That is
why.
pretty
It just
good.
kind of it gets you, like the big unit is coming out to pitch. I don't know. I just like it. But there you didn't have any that stood out to you. Did you do any research on this one?
No, I didn't really like. They all seem very basic to me. Like I hate to say it, but
Yeah,
OJ Simpson being the juice, I was like, no, duh. Like that's just
that's
too
true. His name
basic
is
for me.
OJ. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. Another good one is like Glenn Big Baby Davis. I don't know why. Anything with like big in front of it, I just think it's
It
funny.
just makes it cooler.
Yeah, exactly. Just adding the big. All right, moving on. Our next story was so when was this? This was on Tuesday, I believe, or maybe Wednesday. Kobe Bryant had his 81-point game, and it was the anniversary of that game. So it was like the
Hmm.
big, like I don't know, however many years ago when he scored 81 points in one game. But on this day, you had, I don't know, 5 or 6 guys just go crazy.
Hmm.
Joel Embiid had 70 points. Carl Anthony Towns had 62. Kevin Durant had 43. And then there were a bunch of others in the high 30s. So, like, my question is, do you think people are trying to honor Kobe by just feeding people the ball like the best player? So, like, Embiid, for example, he took 40 some odd shots in one game and
Hmm.
he scored 70
Wow.
points. Do you think it's like before the game starts, it's like, hey, it's Kobe Day. We just give me the ball and I'm just going to shoot a ton and just score a bunch of points to honor him.
Um, you know, I don't really think so. I think it kind of like people know it's Kobe Day and it like almost lights a fire in them. I think it
They just
makes
play better.
people, yeah, like it's like they have, like they're like, oh, I'm playing this game for Kobe. Like they have a
Gotcha.
reason, if that kind of makes sense, like a little
Yeah, that
motivation.
makes sense.
And not gonna lie, I think if it's like, oh, because it's Kobe Day, give this guy the ball. I feel like that's a little messed up.
Why do these guys get to, score all the points? Why not some schmuck?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, and then we'll finish it off our final story. So Netflix this past week signed a 10-year deal with WWE Monday Night Raw for $5 billion with a B. My I don't know how to think about this because I'm so torn, and it pisses me off so much when I can't watch a game that I want to watch strictly because I don't have a streaming service. So like I
Yeah.
have Netflix, that's fine. I have Peacock and I have Amazon Prime, you know. But the thing that's bothering me now is you never know where it's going to be, like what how you're going to be able to watch it. Is it going to be
Mm,
on ESPN? Is it going to be on Peacock? Is it going to be on Netflix? Is it going to be on Amazon Prime? Like you have to have all these different services just to watch a game every week.
yeah.
So, what do you think? Do you think that's good for sports that it's kind of going towards the streaming services side, or do you think it's bad for sports that it's like all jumbled up?
I think it definitely hurts them because, like, say I'm not a die-hard Angels fan, for example. I'm not gonna buy a streaming service just to watch their game, but if it were to be on cable, I would turn it on if there's nothing else.
Yeah.
If that kind of makes
No,
sense. But I
I
do think
agree.
yeah, I think we'll get to a point where cable is not like DirecTV is not going to be a thing anymore, and I
Oh,
think it's all
yeah,
going to be streaming services.
100%. We're gonna
Um,
get there. In my what I think should happen is each streaming service should get a sport. So
mm,
like Netflix, if they want all WWE, take all
yeah,
WWE. You know, Monday Night Raw, Friday Night SmackDown, all the the special
yeah,
WWE stuff. If Prime, Amazon Prime, maybe you give them all basketball. So every NBA
yeah,
game is going to be on Amazon Prime. And then maybe HBO Max gets baseball. So all you need to have is HBO Max and you get every baseball game. Whatever teams are playing, whatever time, it's going to be on HBO Max. You know it's going to be on HBO Max. You pay, maybe they up the price of HBO Max because now you
hmm.
get all baseball, but that's part of it. Like during
I'm
baseball
shocked.
season,
Yeah, that's where you watch it. I think like ESPN. Ultimately, I think every sport needs to be on ESPN, and I think they need to figure out a way to almost reach out to every sport because that's what ESPN is for. Like, I'm sorry, but Netflix doesn't need WWE. That's just my
uh,
opinion. Like,
I'm with you. I agree that like some of these streaming services, like Amazon Prime, for example,
hmm,
they are hosting like what was it, Thursday night football. So every Thursday night
hmm,
football game this past season was on Amazon Prime. I know it's all about money. I know there's a whole bunch
hmm,
more that we're skipping over here without money. But
yeah,
why are we Amazon Prime has no business showing sports and it's strictly to get viewers. I agree. I think there needs to be a single platform and it has every sport. So you call it whatever. You can call it Sportsplex or some
hmm,
crazy name like that. You get a subscription to the Sportsplex, for example. Let's call it that, and
hmm,
you can watch whatever you want. Anything sports, college, pro, whatever you want. It's gonna be on there, and you're gonna be able to watch it live. And you pay a subscription for that. That's just my opinion.
I
But
also think even
go
like
ahead.
the the platform with all the sports, I hate to say it, but they could like up their price for a subscription because there's people that will pay for it.
Oh, 100
So I
percent.
feel like they could like if they could figure out contracts and money and all that stuff, they could get
Yeah.
a lot of people buying into it.
Oh yeah.
Hmm.
100%. All right. Well, that kind of wraps up our five stories. We're going to move on to the Broncos game of the week, and I have a feeling I know what it is, and I'm not going to like it, but you can go ahead and give me your game of the week.
Saturday night, or excuse me, Saturday morning,
Saturday morning.
Boise State beat SDSU 67-66.
Whew.
And I was third row. I was in it. I've never been so invested in a basketball game in my entire life. But it was great. I'm so
how
happy I
was
went.
how was the atmosphere? How was the game itself? Like, were people into it, or were kind of people like, whatever?
People were into it. Like
Yeah.
there were moments the crowd would go crazy. I've never seen the stadium that packed, so it was great.
Well,
And
SGCU
I
is the
remember,
defending national. Well, they didn't win the national
yeah,
championship, but they lost in the national championship game, so kind of
yeah,
put them on the map. So
and I must say, I think it was last episode or the episode before we were talking about Max Rice and how
yeah, it
the
was last
fans
episode.
don't really like him. I hate to say it, he won the game. So people need to give him more credit. Like the end of the game came, he made two, what are they called?
Free throws.
Yeah, three free throws, and
Yeah,
that's what ultimately won the game.
you're lucky because SGCU they struggled all game. I watched most of it. I did watch the
hmm
end. They
hmm
struggled all game. They didn't play very well. And then all of a sudden, like with 1 minute left, SGSU said, "You know what? We're gonna make it close." And then they just started hitting shots. They hit a bunch of threes, and they only ended up losing by 1 point.
1 point, yeah.
And yeah, you're right. Those Max Rice free throws at the very end ended up sealing the deal.
And I
But
remember
whew,
with 1 second left, SCSU scored a 3-pointer. That was the last
yep,
points of the game, and it
yep,
still wasn't close enough. Thanks to Max Rice,
yep,
three free throws. So
yes.
I'm a
Did
big
you
fan
storm the
now.
court?
No, I wanted to. No one wanted to do it. I kept after we won. I was like, storm the court, storm the court. No one would do it. So
That's lame. All
eventually,
right. Well, good game of the week. We will meet again March 8th. I looked it up, March 8th at Viejas Arena where the Aztecs play. Um, so that's you got another chance. And I read today that supposedly 6 Mountain West teams, which is their conference, are going to make
yeah.
the March Madness or the tournament
Oh,
or should make the March tournament. So
that's exciting though.
it'd be cool if they met up in March Madness. How cool would that be?
Not
But
gonna lie, in that situation, I would be scared.
yeah, yeah. I mean, you never know when it comes to March. So,
Yeah.
all right, moving on. Supplantation Feast of the Week. Quick moment of silence for Supplantation. RIP. Thank you. So our Supplantation Feast of the Week player goes to an outstanding performance on Monday night against the San Antonio Spurs. Mr. Joel Embiid, the center for the Philadelphia 76ers, he scored 70 points on 41 shots. He was 24 for 41 from the field, 18 rebounds, 5 assists, a block, and they won the game against the rookie phenom Victor Wembayama. What a name. Look up that name when we're done. Wembayama. Uh, what a performance on Kobe Bryant 81 game anniversary night. Joel Embiid is our supplantation feast of the week player of the week. So congratulations to him. An amazing feat. And with that, we're going sport to sport. First up, the NFL. Delaney,
Mm-hmm.
who do you got? You got 2 games. Who do you got? Let's start with the Ravens and the Chiefs. Are you a hometown
Well,
homie or are you a Swifty?
I'm actually not that big of a Swiftie, but I love the Kelsey brothers. So this makes it really hard. Like even
Uh
on my notes, I wrote Ravens versus Kelsey. So,
huh.
but I don't know. I really want the Ravens to win the Super Bowl, so I have to go the Ravens.
Have to go the Ravens. What's your score prediction?
I said Ravens 32-28.
32-28 Ravens. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
I see it happening. I think the Ravens are very good. But it's Patrick Mahomes and it's Travis Kelsey and it's Andy Reid. And T Swizzle and Jason Kelsey are up in the stands causing issues. And oh man, I want the Ravens to win so bad. But I'm even wearing my Maryland hat in support. It's gonna be. This is tough. It's gonna be close.
Yeah.
I too am. I'm going with the Ravens. Strictly biased opinion. But oh man, this is a tough game, and it's gonna be cold, and it's gonna be rainy in Baltimore. It's gonna be gritty. This is a tough one, and if the Ravens want to win the Super Bowl, they got to win tough games. So let's hope the Ravens can pull it out. What about the other side? The other side, to me, is kind of a toss-up. It could be either one. San Francisco 49ers and the Detroit Lions. What do you got in this one? America's team versus Mr. Irrelevant, Brock Purdy. Who do you got?
I do have the 49ers winning.
Okay.
Just because I can't really remember, but I think in my playoff picture I had them going pretty far, so I want the 49ers to win. And the Lions just seem annoying.
They are annoying. That's what I said. I said
I don't even know them.
I don't know why, but they play this victim card. I know they sucked for 30 years or whatever and all this stuff. Get over it. You sucked. Now you're good. You're not a victim anymore.
Yeah.
Personally, I'm rooting for the Niners, and I think the Niners will win. But it really could go either way. Both these games are great. They're both great. They're both going to be really good games. Going to be very close. Sunday, the Ravens are the early game. I believe it's at 12. And the Lions Niners are at 3:30 our time. God, it's a good matchup, and it's going to be a good Super Bowl regardless. You're either going to have our hometown homies, the Baltimore Ravens, or you're going to have Swifty and the Kelsey brothers at the Super Bowl.
So honestly, I hate to say it, but I'm happy either way.
It's a win-win situation, right?
Yeah, I agree.
And lastly, with the NFL, we've had a whole bunch of coaching hires and stuff. We're gonna dive into that next week, before our Super Bowl talk. But Jim Harbaugh signing with the LA Chargers is massive news. You called it. You said that he would go to LA. You said that you thought he was gonna, go out with a bang, and good call on that one. So we will dive more into the head coaching stuff next week. Moving on to baseball, the MLB. We got quite a few things here. So they inducted 3 names to the Hall of Fame: Joe Mauer, Todd Helton, and Adrian Beltre, all 3 in the Hall of Fame. There's a lot of backlash because a lot of people don't think Todd Helton and Joe Mauer deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. Adrian Beltre was kind of automatic. Everyone knew he was going in. But how do you think we should be voting people in? Who do you think should vote to get in? So right now it's a bunch of sports writers. It's a bunch of baseball involved people. They write for various newsletters and various, it's a lot of retired coaches and stuff like that. Who do you think should be voting on if they get in the Hall of Fame or not?
I think it should be players who are currently in the Hall of Fame, but they have to be retired. So they're in the Hall of Fame retired players.
Well, so the rule is to get in the Hall of Fame, you have to be retired for 5 years. So everyone in the Hall of Fame has to be retired for 5 years at least.
Okay, so in that case, I think like the people who are in the Hall of Fame, they are the one who like nominate people, and I think they should also vote.
Okay. Because, well, a lot of them are dead. There's a lot of dead ones.
But like, obviously a lot of them. But do you have enough people to vote?
Yeah,
I think you only need like, I don't know, 40 maybe.
Yeah. My thinking is it should be active players voting. People who are playing right now should vote. Because one, that's a big pool of people. There's a lot of players playing. And two, those are people who are like truly respect, some of the feats that some of these guys have done, some of how many home runs they have, how many their batting average, how good of a pitcher they were, stuff like that. So I think active players have the best idea of who the best of the best was, who the Hall of Famer is. So that's my opinion.
I get what you're saying. My only concern is I would be worried that people are biased. Like, obviously, and there's no way of proving it, but obviously, like, say I'm on the Angels and there's someone nominated for the Angels, I feel like I would want them in there, whether or not I deserve they should be.
That's fair. I could see some bias going on, but you also have like you would need a lot more votes than just people from the Angels to vote you in.
Yeah, no, that's true.
I don't know. I think the Hall of Fame thing it's starting to lose its respect level. Like, I'm not saying it's easy to get in the Hall of Fame. By no means is it easy, but there's a lot of players that have been voted in there lately that you kind of scratch your head and you're like, I don't know. They were good, but they weren't, Hall of Fame good. So
I have a question.
I don't know. The one next year, automatic, Ichiro. Do you remember Ichiro?
Yeah, I do.
He's a first ballot for me.
Is there like an actual Hall of Fame? Is that stupid?
Yeah, for every
like,
sport.
What is it?
It's like a museum.
Like when I get conducted. Okay. Oh, okay. Like
it's like a museum.
I was just confused when you get what's the word? Conducted.
Inducted
in the Hall of Fame.
You're not a trained conductor. Inducted.
When you get inducted to the Hall of Fame, like I feel like that's kind of it. Like,
well, you get
congrats.
Well, I mean, you get all sorts of stuff. Mainly, you're in the museum forever. You have like a plaque, and they have a picture of you, and it states all your stats and stuff. So, yeah, but there's also it's in Cooperstown. That's where the baseball one is. It's Cooperstown, New York.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I have to look up where the other ones are, like the football and the basketball. They're somewhere. I don't know exactly. All right. And then I'll just run through these really quick. MLB, the free agency tracker. The big one this week was Josh Hader. He went to the Astros. You had Joey Gallo to the Nationals. Trey Mancini to the Marlins. Aroldis Chapman to the Pirates. We talked about James Paxton to the Dodgers. Rhys Hoskins went to the Brewers. And then our Angels signed two relievers, Matt Moore and Robert Stevenson. That's really all the big names that signed this week. We're going to run through college basketball really quick as well. We had a great week. It continues to roll on. Some big-time games this week. Your Boise State Broncos have Utah State. That's a big one. They're first place right now in the Mountain West. Kansas and Iowa State Saturday morning. You have Texas at BYU as well, and then Oklahoma and Texas Tech. So my SDSU Aztecs go to Colorado State, which is another big night. That's on Tuesday night. So we got some good college basketball, and my top 5 in college basketball has to be number 1, UConn still, Purdue at number 2, North Carolina at number 3. I have Houston at 4 and Arizona at 5, even though Arizona had a heartbreaker last night. I still have them at 5. You got Kansas and Tennessee right on the cusp there, but college basketball continues to roll on. It's hard to keep track of 50 games every day when it comes to college basketball. It's so much fun. I love watching it. But we'll get down to our final 2 things. So Delaney, your mascot of the week, what you got? I gave you a suggestion.
And I didn't take it. I'm excited for this one. Mm-hmm. And it might be You might need a Google search for this one.
All right.
The
I'm
mascot
ready.
is for a Japanese baseball team, and it's called the Mysterious Fish.
The
I want you to pull
mysterious
up a photo
fish.
for a sec. Mysterious Fish.
Mysterious fish. Whoa! I see it. Yeah.
And I liked it
This?
because it's
I
yeah,
know it's hard
yeah.
to see.
I like it because it's two costumes in one. He could like take
Oh,
off
it's
his
two people?
skin. No.
Oh, I
It's
see. I
like
see.
you could take off the fish skin and he becomes
Uh-huh.
like a skeleton. And it's just sick. I've never
Wow.
seen that before. Yeah, the Mysterious Fish.
The mysterious fish. Well, they are the Chiba Lotte Marines is the name of the team. In Chiba City, Japan's Pacific League in Chiba City in the Kanto region. Wow.
Mhm.
Nice find. Oh my god.
Thank
Look, it
you.
even has has like a little it shows all the different versions that it could be. That's kind of cool. Nice find. And they're a baseball? Is that what it says? Yeah, baseball. Big
Pretty sick
time.
job.
Nice. Yeah, that's
Thank
pretty
you.
sweet. I like it. Well, my suggestion was maybe look at some minor league baseball teams. There's some incredible minor league baseball team.
I saw a few runner-ups for this week.
Yeah.
So there's good ones coming.
Keep them in mind. Keep them in mind. That's number one so far. I like that pick. That's a great. It's great go-to. All right, and then last thing is our question of the week is: if you were a professional athlete or a famous person, what would your stage name or we talked about nicknames. What would your nickname be and why? I don't know why. Have you ever seen the movie Bull Durham?
No, I have not.
I highly recommend. It's a great baseball movie called Bull Durham, and the guy's name on it is Crash. And I love the name Crash. I don't know why. I just think it sounds cool. So my stage name or nickname would be Cooper Crash. That's what I got. What about you? What would be your stage name?
This one was easy for me. People in high school used to call me this. It would be D-Dog.
D-Dog. Okay.
Yeah. And another variation, if I ever were to become a DJ, I would be DJ Dog.
DJ Dog?
DJ Dog.
Not DJ D-Dog?
No, that's too many. Just
too many
DJ
too
Dog.
many D's?
Yeah.
Solid. So D-Dog it is.
D-Dog.
Hell yeah. All right. Well, that wraps up our show for this week. It's been a great week of sports. We love the support for Bronco and the Pig. We can't thank you enough. And until next week, when our Ravens beat down the Kelsey brothers on Sunday afternoon. It's been awesome. Bronco and the Pig, we are out. Peace.